In the beginning, there was man, and it was good. Man would run around Gilnor, killing monsters, gathering supplies, upgrading his gear, and any little upgrade, any small piece of armor or gear or supplies that he got was so satisfying, because getting anything back in the day was so hard. The only other way to get items back in the day was to trade players, and to do that you had to compete with hundreds of other players and hundreds of scammers to try and find the gear and armor you wanted from a legit seller, which was pretty tricky. To combat this, Jetix released the Grand Exchange, and it was good. The Grand Exchange got rid of all the scammers. It made it super easy to get any item in the game, but with it, the game lost a little bit of nostalgia, a little bit of that feeling back in the day when you got a gear upgrade. It was so satisfying back then, but now you could just put in an offer, a few clicks, and you have any item in the game if you have enough money. It made the game much easier. But we also lost something in the process. That little oomph, that little dopamine rush when you get a piece of gear upgrade or something new in your account. That little thing that's bringing you guys back to this game year after year. You guys know what I'm talking about. That little feeling was gone, and with it, some of RuneScape's history. And some players didn't like the new version of RuneScape. They started playing solo RuneScape, and then some content creators got involved and also started playing this game mode. Self-efficient solo RuneScape. You had to get everything yourself. It looked 10 times harder. But with it being harder, it was also much more satisfying. This little idea was so successful that Jetix adopted it as their own and released it into the game as Iron Man mode. And as you guys already know, Iron Man mode is very good. One of the most successful game modes in RuneScape to this day. There's still thousands and thousands of Iron Men in the game. But this correlation started to form between game modes being hard, being much more satisfying, much more fun to play. So Jetix upped the bounty and released Ultimate Iron Man mode, and tens of thousands of players started playing that and loved it because it was much harder and therefore much more satisfying. This little snowball started to roll. So Jetix upped the bounty once more with Hardcore Iron Man mode. If you die once in this game mode, you're out of the game. Oh, well, out of that game mode anyway. You can no longer play as a Hardcore Iron Man. The harder the mode, the more fun and exciting it is to play. Then content creators got involved and they started smashing out harder and harder series. Gridlocked, Tilebound, Caveman, Swampletics, Verve over in Cramja only, area restricted, just every kind of restriction you can think of slapped onto account to make it much harder to progress, much harder to play. In real life, things that are much harder are not much more fun, but in RuneScape it seems to be the harder the game mode, the better. But now in 2021, have we reached the pinnacle? Is there any game modes left that are more hard than what's already out there? And I think I found it. I think I found the hardest game mode in old school RuneScape. So Iron Man, when they play the game, they can just kill monsters for any item in the game they want, and Iron Man can receive any item in the game. It just takes them a long time grinding it out. Regular accounts can just go to the Grand Exchange and buy any item in the game, but what if you restrict both areas? What if I can kill monsters, I can pick up loot, but I can never use it, I can never equip it, any item I get just goes straight into the bank? But I can use the Grand Exchange, but here's the punchline, here's the trick with this account. I can only buy items from the Grand Exchange for 20% of their value. See, this here game mode's very strange. Theoretically, I can receive any item in the game, but in practice, who's going to sell anything for 20% of the GE value, 80% off, and if they do, somebody else will have a higher buy offer in. 99.9% of the items in the game will be locked off to me. I'll only be using scraps and dregs from Grand Exchange for everything, for herblore training, crafting training, smithing. Just any supplies are going to be extremely difficult to get, and any gear is going to be crazy hard to get. So I'm going to be using scraps from the Grand Exchange and trying to play through RuneScape. And the beauty of this game mode, I have no area restrictions. I can take on every piece of content in the game, including the Inferno, Theatre of Blood, the Nightmare of Ashihama, all the big bosses in this game mode, but I am super restricted by what I get from the Grand Exchange. Now, if this snowball is real, if a harder game mode means it's more fun and more satisfying to play, then this could be it. This could be the pinnacle of old school RuneScape, or it might just be one step too far. It might be too hard, I might not be able to get anything at all, making it super difficult, but that's the beauty of old school RuneScape. I might be running about with a steel scimitar slapping God Wars bosses or something, or I might get a God Sword for 2 mil, who knows. Anything could happen in this series, and I'm pretty excited to get started, so yeah, hope you guys are too. This is the birth of 20% man, I'll think of a name for this series, 20% only man mode. Yeah, who knows, we'll think of a name. If you have any suggestions, let me know. But yeah, 20% man mode coming your way very soon. I'm pretty excited. Anyway, Happy New Year everyone, and welcome to Old School RuneScape in 2021. I'll see you guys very soon. Take it easy. Bye.